We're gonna make spaghetti squash with a Romesco sauce. As the name suggests, when we cook this wintertime squash, it does form into spaghetti-like strands. It's got a really mild flavor, so those strands are able to take on a flavor of whatever we sauce it with. Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals. This is a wintertime squash. It's got a very hard outer shell. It's really easy to find year-round. I'm just taking a little piece off to make this flat. Here's why. The spaghetti strands are like copper wire wound around an electric motor. They go this way. So if we cut it this way, we'll have longer strands than if we cut it this way. However, it's kind of a pain in the neck to cut it this way. So this little flat edge gives us some stability. So we will take our knife, we will bite right in, take our knife, bite in, always with the hands on top, okay? We've got these gorgeous rounds here. You can sort of see how the squash strands are going in a circle around. We're just gonna scoop this excess stuff and seeds out, put these on a sheet tray. We are gonna come with olive oil just around the top like that to aid in heat transfer in the oven, salt, and pepper. I'm gonna roast these in the oven until all those spaghetti strands free themselves from the rest of the squash here. You'll know when it's done. Now we're gonna make our Romesco sauce, and usually it's used on like grilled fish or vegetables. Very versatile, highly flavorful. It's always got roasted red peppers and nuts, and sometimes it has tomato, and here's our struggle take on it. So we're gonna start with some walnuts. Traditionally, this would be almonds. I can smell the toastiness of these walnuts. I'm gonna get it out of the pan immediately. I'm just gonna chop up this garlic a little bit. Here we have roasted red peppers. This dish is all about this flavor. Now, if you have a high-speed blender, you could put all the ingredients at once and just go whoop-oo! But we're gonna use an immersion blender, because this is the struggle kitchen. So right now, I'm trying to make a paste. I've got my immersion blender stand, deluxe edition. Now I'm gonna throw in our walnuts. Struggle on. Okay. We're gonna put some bread in. The idea is twofold. One, to mellow out the acidity, of which there's a lot. Two, to thicken the sauce. A lot of traditional recipes have a whole bunch of tomatoes in this. I have found, and I really love, using red wine vinegar. It lets the pepper really shine through as like the lead vocalist of the group, but it also lets me play with acidity and salt, and that makes me salivate. And salivating is good with food. So we've got some red wine vinegar in there. We've got our bread. In order to accentuate that smoky pepperness even more, let's get some smoked paprika and some red pepper flakes from the packet drawer. We're gonna blend this a little more, and I'm gonna add some olive oil. More than ever, you must try this now and make adjustments. Acidic, salty, nuts. I think I can take a little more smoky paprika and maybe a tiny bit more salt. My fear here is that you've got something that doesn't have enough salt and way too much acid and it just tastes like vinegar. If it's too vinegary, the salt is gonna mellow that out. If it's too salty, the vinegar is gonna mellow that out. And if the whole thing is getting too salty and acidic, a little bit of sugar will bring it all back. Great. So our spaghetti squash is out, it's cooled, and now let's try to get the spaghetti out of the squash. So I'm pulling the skins off here. It's all coming apart nicely. Getting our spaghetti right into our bowl here. Spaghetti squash, Romesco sauce. An improbable couple, but it does work. It smells smoky, it smells acidic. We've got an orange theme going on here. This is a perfect opportunity to take a deposit from the herb garden that we grow. I'm gonna grab this here, parsley leaf, and I am gonna do that right there. Boom. Our spaghetti squash with Romesco sauce comes in $2.54 a serving. It looks great. Let's taste it. You can, in fact, twirl spaghetti squash like you would spaghetti. The spaghetti squash is all texture in this dish, right? I am crunching through it. It's like a beautiful cellophane noodle. It's fantastic, which makes the job of the Romesco sauce to bring all the flavor, and that it does in spades. Our spaghetti squash with Romesco sauce is really a tale of two opposites. We've got this mild wintertime squash, and then you've got the Romesco, which is loaded with flavor, and together they make a really good combination. It's smoky, it's acidic, it's savory, it's delicious. So if you're looking for a fun way to use spaghetti squash, I think this is a great way to go.